With its debut in 2003, America's Next Top Model has gone on to become one of the most popular reality competitions on TV. Even after its jump from the CW to VH1, the show has launched many stunning careers. So where are they now? These are the most successful top models ever. Cycle 5's Lisa D'Amato was known for stirring up the drama.
I think slowly but surely I think I'm becoming more of a threat to the other girls.
And in 2011, she went on to win the All-Star Cycle. Since her time on the show, D'Amato has kept herself busy doing even more reality TV. In 2010, she checked into celebrity rehab with Dr. Drew, and 2 years later, she starred in her own pilot titled My Name is Lisa. In 2016, D'Amato and her husband, Hollywood entrepreneur Adam Friedman, appeared on WeTV's Marriage Boot Camp Reality Stars. Reality Blurred reported that she landed a deal on Shark Tank for her food storage bib There You Go. But D'Amato's true passion lies in making music. In 2009, she released her debut album La Puccinetta, which she followed up with Flippin' the Bird. Yaya DaCosta may have been the runner-up on Cycle 3, but her career post-show has been nothing short of incredible. 2 years after Top Model, she made her feature film debut in 2006's Take the Lead, and has had recurring roles on Chicago Med, All My Children, and Ugly Betty, along with a starring role in 2015's Whitney. DaCosta has also been outspoken about representation in the industry. The Afro-Latina actress told The Griot in 2019,
"It's nice that people are actually realizing what Latin America actually looks like."
But she acknowledged that the work needs to happen everywhere in the industry.
There have to be writers and producers and directors hiring and insisting on that representation.
Cycle 5's Cassandra Jean Whitehead famously dropped out of the series after she received a hair makeover she didn't like.
It was the last straw in them completely trying to change who I was.
Whitehead grew her hair back and then went to work in TV, where she had several small screen appearances in One Tree Hill, Mad Men, and Arrow. But where the former model really lucked out, though, is in love. In December 2012, she married Arrow star Stephen Amell, and the couple welcomed their first child that October. Dani Evans was the winner of Cycle 6, narrowly beating out Joni Dodds. After her time on the show, Evans walked the runway for several big names in fashion, and she's been featured in ad campaigns for CoverGirl, Academics, and Sephora. In 2013, Evans became a published author with her book The Skinny on Getting In, an inside peek into the fashion world for the aspiring model. The book acted as both a memoir as well as something of a how-to for young models trying to break into the industry. In 2016, she told Sports Illustrated that her inspiration came from the response she received after her top model win from fans curious about how to break into modeling. She offered,
"I think confidence and knowing how to dress in this business is key."
Eva Marcille launched her modeling career by winning Cycle 3. After the show, Marcille hit the small screen with roles in Smallville, The Young and the Restless, House of Pain, and Real Husbands of Hollywood. But it wasn't until 2018 that she fully embraced the housewives life by signing on to The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
"So thank you, excuse me, and good day."
But the model and actress wasn't only interested in making a living on camera, and in 2018, she launched her home design collection.
"I'm just trying to dabble in other things, but more so things that are real for me."
Marcille told People magazine, "My goal is to give women an oasis with warm patterns and comfortable fabrics for an easy getaway from life. Enhancing your living space is therapeutic, and our prints make for a calming environment."
Hi, I'm the fabulous Toccara. I'm a plus-size supermodel of the world.
Toccara Jones didn't make it terribly far into her season of Top Model, but that doesn't mean she didn't have a lasting impression. After Cycle 3, Jones appeared on TV in Are We There Yet?, In the Cut, and Celebrity Paranormal Project. But the model, who had her fair share of ups and downs in an effort to prove herself as more than just plus-sized, has gone on to do just that. In 2008, she appeared in the all-black issue of Vogue Italia. Photographer Stephen Meisel said of her via the New York Times, "I wanted to say something about weight, and I'm never allowed to do that. I met Toccara and thought, she's beautiful. What's the deal with her?" The following year, Jones appeared in the BET's Rip the Runway fashion show, and she's since gone on to design her own intimate apparel line. Nyle DiMarco was the first deaf model to win America's Next Top Model during Cycle 22, but he claimed that being deaf actually worked to his advantage, saying,
"Being deaf has definitely been a strength for me in this competition, just because American Sign Language requires a lot of facial expression and using your body, and that's what modeling requires also."
In 2019, Out reported that DiMarco had been tapped for a role on the Grey's Anatomy spin-off Station 19 as a deaf firefighter. But DiMarco's acting career is only a small portion of what he's been up to these days. On top of spearheading the Nyle DiMarco Foundation, which works to, quote, improve the lives of every deaf person in the world, he's also started a production company specifically focused on deaf filmmakers, telling L'Officiel in 2019, "I think Hollywood is finally listening and becoming more aware of the extreme lack of representation, but there is a lot of work still to do." Although she was initially reluctant to audition for the show, Cycle 11's Isis King took a chance after doing background work the previous season. She told Johnny McGovern on Hey Queen that before she had gotten encouragement from some of the other girls, she was thinking,
"I didn't want to go on originally. I was like, I don't know if they're just trying to use me or what.
The time she spent on ANTM proved to be meaningful for both King and the larger LGBTQ community. The first ever trans model to appear on the show has gone on to become a prominent voice for trans rights. As of mid-2019, she serves on the board of the Ali Fournet Center, an organization dedicated to helping homeless LGBTQ youth. And according to HuffPost, she's the only board member who's actually gone through the system. A true success story. Leila Goldkuhl's appearance on Cycle 19 had its ups and downs. After being eliminated during the 5th week, Goldkuhl wound up winning a second chance to be in the competition via a social media vote. Once back on the show, she nearly won the season, landing in 3rd place. After the show, Goldkuhl went on to work in high fashion. In 2016, she made her runway debut at Givenchy's spring show in New York City. And a year later, Goldkuhl walked in Fashion Week for Chanel, Nina Ricci, and Tom Ford. By 2018, she was recognized as one of the 50 greatest models in the world. Pretty impressive.
Like this big, whirlwind, I guess, because one day nothing could be happening and the next day something massive is happening.
Analeigh Tipton was one of America's Next Top Model's earlier successes. When she placed 3rd in Cycle 11, Tyra Banks told her,
Paulina thinks that you are a star actress that can get a lot of modeling campaigns. We think that that's probably the direction that you should go.
Tipton certainly took the advice to heart. A few years after the show, she landed roles in Crazy Stupid Love and The Green Hornet. By 2014, she was cast as the lead in the series Manhattan Love Story, and she's seen steady on-screen work ever since. In 2019, Deadline reported that Tipton had signed with ICM Partners. And of her newfound acting cred, Tipton told Brief Take, I think that people still see me as the Crazy Stupid Love babysitter, and it's been interesting trying to showcase myself as a woman, because I tend to read young. It's trying to find that balance of unique roles and hope that people will see them. Even though Bre Scullark made it to 3rd place on Cycle 5, she wound up being remembered more for her feud with that season's winner, Nicole Linkletter, than for anything else. Luckily, Scullark would bounce back from Granola Gate, shifting from a modeling career to a life focused on balance and community. But it took some hard hits to get there. In an interview with Office magazine, Scullark recounted the period after the show ended, during which she went from making $200,000 on one particular day to being dropped by her agencies after a bad haircut. Our drug use led to a stint in rehab, after which the model discovered yoga. Noticing a lack of yoga studios in urban areas, Scullark took it upon herself to set up her own sliding scale community classes. Eventually, she began teaching in prisons, something she said is more fulfilling than her previous work.
I love yoga. I'm born and raised in Harlem, and I felt like I needed to make a contribution to my community. It needed to be in action, and I needed to do it outside of that spotlight.
She told the outlet, I feel healed and needed. I always felt disposable modeling. There was no real need for me. Cycle 5's Kim Stolz has the distinction of being the show's first out lesbian finalist, not to mention one of its most outspoken stars.
I love having people, watch me.
In a 2005 interview with The Village Voice, she vented her frustration with the judge's criticism to appear, quote, more feminine in her shoot, saying, at some point I said, F it, I'll be myself, and to hell with what they think because they're being too confusing. But beyond her experience on the show, Stolz has published a book, been an MTV reporter, and also worked on Wall Street. In 2014, Bloomberg announced that the former model had been hired as a director for equity derivative sales for Bank of America. And according to her LinkedIn, Stolz later became the head of America's prime brokerage sales for the company. Although she wasn't one of the more well-liked contestants on the show at the time of her elimination, Cycle 10's Fatima Siad claimed the fights between her and the other girls were dramatized for TV.
To me, most of the girls are cool, but I don't think they understand how stupid they act sometimes.
In 2011, Siad accomplished a top model first by landing spots on runways for Dries Van Noten and Hermes, according to The Cut. The transition into high fashion came after a 3-year stint of commercial and print work. She later graced the pages of Nylon magazine and was one of the faces of Urban Decay's Fall/Winter 2016 ad campaign. So what's her best advice for aspiring models? She told the New York magazine, now that I work as a professional model, I advise people to stay away from any television shows. It's a waste of your time. It's just entertainment. It's not the fashion that we now know. Winnie Harlow was actually discovered by Tyra Banks via Instagram.
I found you.
Really?
I saw you on social media. I've actually never seen vitiligo that way.
Yeah, neither have I.
It's like symmetrical, fantasticness.
Harlow became the first Canadian, as well as the first model with the skin condition vitiligo, to compete on the show. Initially eliminated in the 4th week, Harlow returned after she won the show's comeback series and wound up taking 6th place overall. Harlow has been incredibly outspoken in her experience with vitiligo. In a 2019 interview on The Jonathan Ross Show, Harlow took aim at the news outlets that referred to her skin condition as something she was, quote, suffering from. She said, I feel like it's not anyone else's position to tell me I am suffering. I don't feel like I am suffering. I am conquering. I am living. I am living my best life in the way that I can and thriving.
I think I was born with confidence. It was really just something that I lost when people made me feel like I shouldn't be confident.
Certainly, her stunning look has become an incredible asset for the model, who's worked for Moschino and Julian McDonald, as well as walked the 2018 Victoria's Secret runway. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more list videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.